Black Politics, read by Arthur Rashida Brown, Chapter 18. Welcome back. Excuse me for any background noise or interruption. So let's start on Chapter 18. Curl Howard, a man said. Yes, that's me. How can I help you? Miss Curl said. You've been served, the man said, handing Miss Curl the papers. What is this about? Miss Curl asked, opening the papers. I'm being sued. Who in the hell? Hey, who was at the door? Mr. Howard asked, kissing Miss Curl. Oh, just some kids selling cookies, Miss Carol lied, tucking their paper under the pillow. Oh, okay, well, I'm going to be out today with the guys. If you need anything, call me, Governor Howard said. Miss Carol waited until Mr. Howard was gone. Then she looked over the papers. Who does she think she is taking me to court? Does she honestly think she's going to win? Just a waste of my time. Miss Carol spat, putting the papers in her safe. Miss Carol tried to call her daughter, but she didn't get the answer. Call me as soon as you get this voicemail, Miss Carol said, hanging up the phone. She finished getting dressed and headed out of the door. On the way to her meeting, she phoned Chief John to meet with her later. As she pulled into the driveway, most of the ladies were already there. She raised the money she needed the other night at the charity event to open the program. She was meeting with the contractors and her team today. Miss Carol got out of the car and walked towards the entrance. Hey, Carol, can I talk with you right quick? A lady asked, approaching Miss Curl. Miss Curl turned and looked at the woman, then walked towards her quickly. What are you doing here? Miss Curl hissed, grabbing the woman by the arm, pulling her behind the building. I tried calling your phone, but you haven't returned any of my calls, so I had to come to you, the lady said. You know you're not supposed to be here. That's not part of our deal. You're not supposed to be seen with me in public, Miss Curl said. Well, if you would answer your phone and stop ignoring me, I wouldn't have to, the lady snapped. What do you want? Miss Curl asked. Look, Dee needs you to take care of that little Zane problem, the lady said. Little Zane? Who the hell is little Zane? Miss Curl asked. A problem is what he is. He's undercutting our products and prices. I don't know where he came from, but he is taking all of our customers. As a result, we are losing money, the lady complained. So I suppose Dee can get one of his homeboys to take care of this, Miss Curl quite. You got jokes. You know D is all about keeping his hands clean. He doesn't shed blood unless he has to, the lady said. So what am I supposed to do about it, Miss Curl asked. I don't know. Figure it out. The sooner he's off the street, the faster we can get back to making this money. If we don't eat, you don't. And you don't want any problems, the lady said, handing Miss Curl a paper while walking off. Miss Curl put the form in her purse and waited for the lady to leave before walking around the building. So how's everything coming along? Miss Carroll asked. Everything is going as planned. We should have everything done by the expected date, the contractor said. Good to hear. Well, I'll get out of your way, Miss Carroll said, walking over towards her team, who was walking through the building. Everything is coming along so nicely, Miss Carroll, Aisha commented. Yes, I agree. I cannot wait for it to be up and running, Miss Carroll said excitedly. After Miss Carroll and her team finished walking through the building, they had their meeting and everyone left. Miss Carroll called Chief John to let him know that she was on her way to the room. Miss Carroll got in her car and headed to the room. As she pulled into the park in the hotel parking lot, she noticed Chief John pulling in simultaneously. She waited about 10 minutes before entering the hotel. They were always careful about how they handle things and did not want to risk being exposed. Miss Carroll entered the hotel building from the side and took the stairs to the room. Chief John was in the room, stretched out in the bed with music playing low. Miss Carroll walked into the room and sat down in the chair beside the bed. We don't have time for that. Get dressed, Miss Carroll said, pouring a glass of wine. Chief John stood to his feet, putting his pants back on. He walked over and sat in a chair beside her. What's going on? Chief John asked. Apparently, I'm being sued, Miss Carroll said, taking another sip of wine. Sued by whom? Chief John asked. Who do you think? Miss Carroll said, looking at Chief John. Oh, her again. So I see she's still a problem, Chief John said. Of course she's a problem, and she's going to continue to be one if we don't get rid of her, Miss Carroll said. Chief John pulled his chair in front of Miss Carroll, taking her shoes off. You need to relax. I told you I got everything taken care of. I told you I got everything taken care of. Chief John assured, rubbing her feet. I will not relax until Richard is in office and everything we worked hard for has paid off. But until then, we must stay on top of everything, Miss Carroll said, taking another sip of wine. And it will. I will be meeting with Tyrone tomorrow night. He said he got some information that will help us, Chief John informed her. Well, it's about time because the informant he has been bringing us would excuse me was about time because the information he has been bringing us will do us no good, Miss Carroll said, putting her shoes back on. Where are you going? Chief John asked, walking behind Miss Carroll. I told you I don't have time for this today, so we gotta stay focused and keep our heads in the game. Oh yeah, one of these workers came and saw me today, Miss Carroll said. Came to see you for what? Chief John asked. Something about a new dealer taking their customers, Miss Carroll said. So why don't they just handle it? What do they expect you to do? Chief John asked. They want him off the street, so I'm sure you can come up with something. Don't leave until 30 minutes after I'm gone, Miss Carroll instructed, walking out of the door. Chief John sat down on the bed and made a call to Caleb. What's going on, Chief? Officer Caleb answered. Nothing much. Look, I don't have time to go into detail about everything, but I need you to take care of something for me, Chief John said. You got it, boss. Just name it and it's done, Officer Caleb said. We got a lot of heat on us ever since this situation with you, and now we're having problems with our street workers, Chief John informed Caleb. What do you need me to do? Officer Caleb asked. I need you to plant something on a new competitor, something that will take him off the streets for a while, Chief John said. It's done. Just send me the details and I'm on it, Officer Caleb said. They ended their conversation and Chief John left the hotel. Several hours have passed and Officer Caleb was out covering their tracks. Finally, he pulled up to the location that Chief John gave him. He and his wife in the truck with her dress. He has his wife in a truck with her dressed as a prostitute. The plan is to distract Lil Zane and his boys while Caleb sneak into the house to plant the drugs and weapons. Caleb's wife hopped out of the truck dressed in a red mini dress with black heels on. She fixed her blonde wig and strutted down the street to where Lil Zane and his boys were standing. Unfortunately, one of his boys was already checking her out before she approached him. Hey, y'all see Snow White over there? Toothpick said. Hell yeah, I see her. She's a nice little snack, Kenny said. She alright. She ain't wifey material, but you know what we do to these types of chicks. Lil Zane drawled. Look, looks like she's coming over here, Kenny said. Kathy walked up to Lil Zane and his crew. How can we help you? Toothpick asked. I'm trying to have a good time tonight, and you boys look like you could use some fun, Kathy said, twirling her hair around her finger. Oh yeah, what kind of fun are you talking about? Kenny asked. Well, we're all adults here, ain't we? I'm sure you can use your imagination. You know what I mean when I say fun, Kathy said seductively. While Kathy continued to distract Lil Zane and his crew, Caleb snuck around back into Zane's crib. He crept through the house to make sure nobody was in there. And once he saw that there was not And once he saw there was not, he quickly went through the house, planting pills, drugs, and weapons around the house. He could see Kathy and the boys walking towards the crib, and he quickly ran out the back. He phoned Chief John to let them know it was done. While Zane, Kathy, and his boys were walking towards the crib, a swarm of police cars came flying down the street. Toothpick tried to run, but an officer quickly slammed him to the ground. Zane stood there with his hands up. What the hell going on? Why is y'all pressing us? Zane asked. Shut your mouth and put your hands behind your back, the officer ordered. How is y'all going to arrest us and we ain't did nothing? Zane protested. This right here is a warrant to search your house, and you better hope like hell we don't find anything, the officer said. You not gonna find nothing in there, Zane yelled out. What is going on, Kathy asked, sitting on the curb in handcuffs. You tell me, Zane snapped. How in the hell am I supposed to know? Kathy shot back. Man, I can't go back to jail. They're gonna take my kids, officer. Can I please make a call? Kathy yelled out. Haven't I seen you somewhere before? Zane asked. There's no telling, and I'm everywhere. Whatever the party is, I'm there, Kathy says. No, that's not it. I've seen you. Somewhere before. I just can't put my finger on it. You just were more than hold on. No, that's not it. I've seen you somewhere before. I just can't put my finger on it. You just were more cleaned up than this, Zane said. Well, that's the old me, Kathy said dismissively while panicking inside. You were. Look what we found, the officer said, bringing guns and drugs out of the house, interrupting Zane before he could finish talking. He was starting to put it all together. He remembered Kathy from the news standing by Caleb when he resigned. He knew he was being set up, but didn't understand why. He just kept quiet. Man, that's not my stuff. Y'all put that in there, Zane accused. Oh, yeah? Well, have fun proving that, the officer whispered in his ear. Good work, boys. Let's load everything up and take them in, the officer said. What about the girl? The female officer asked. Let her go. She doesn't have anything to do with this, Officer Ronnie said. Oh, I see what this is, Zane said, mugging Kathy as she walked off. I won't forget, he called out as they shoved him and his boys in the back seat. Don't say nothing. I'm going to get us out of this, Zane told his boys. Chief John sent Miss Curl a message letting her know it was handled. It had been a few days since Miss Curl was served papers. She decided it was time to visit Adara. As she pulled into the parking lot, Adara was pulling in at the same time. Miss Curl waited until Adara got out of the car before she approached her. As Adara opened the door to let everyone in, Miss Curl walked up to the door just as Adara was about to shut it. Hey, may I speak with you right quick? Miss Curl asked. Adara looked her up and down. I guess. Follow me to my office, Adara replied curtly. Oh, this will only take a moment, Miss Curl said. Do you want to talk or not? Adara said, walking off. Miss Curl took a deep breath and followed her. I'm going to need the office for a moment, ladies, Adara said. Seeing that it was Miss Curl with Adara, the women nodded at Adara. Amina bumped her as she walked out of the door. Excuse me, Amina said, closing the door behind her. Adara sat down at her desk. What is it that you want to talk about? Adara asked. I'm sure you know why I'm here, Miss Curl said, sitting across from Adara. No, I actually don't. So can you just spit it out? Adara said. I see you're taking me to court. I was served the other day. It's quite embarrassing if you ask me, Miss Curl said. That's what you're here about. You shouldn't be surprised about that. I told you I would take legal actions against you. Yet you think you can go around and do as you please with no consequences, Adara said. Oh dear, I'm not surprised at all. I expected you to do exactly what you did. I mean, I know you could use the money. I mean, look at you. You're sharing an office with three other women, Miss Curl said, giggling. Look, I'm too old to be playing games with you or anybody else. My time is valuable, and if you came down here just to talk down to me, I feel sorry for you. You're more miserable than I thought, Adara said, standing to her feet. Look, do what you want to do. I was just trying to save you the embarrassment. I can cut you a check to pay for the rest of the year, or you can take me to court and get nothing, Miss Curl said, standing to her feet. Get the hell out of my office, Adara ordered. Opening the door, Amina, Rose, and Akita were standing outside of the room with their arms folded. Miss Curl giggled as she walked out of the office. Oh, girls, I feel sorry for you. Better enjoy working while you can. This place won't be open long, Miss Curl warned. Oh, just let me get her, Amina fumed. She's not worth it, Adara said, placing her arm around Amina. Come on, ladies, we got work to do, Adara said. Adara called a team meeting to put together a plan. Okay, so I'm sure you all have seen Miss Curl leave the office. She came here to threaten me about suing her. They know the pressure is up and they are desperate right now. She offered me money to drop the case, which is nothing new with her. But the trial is approaching and we need to get our heads in the game. We need to look over statements, evidence, and make sure we haven't left anything untouched, Adara told her team. What do I need to do? Tyrone asked. You can work with Amina today. She will go over our plans with you, Adara told him. Sounds good, Tyrone said. They wrapped up their meetings and everyone but Amina and Adara left the room. Remember our plan. Don't share valuable information with him, just enough to see if he's working against us, Adara reminded Amina. I got you, Adara, Amina assured her. Amina grabbed her paperwork and met Tyrone back in the conference room. So Adara wants me to catch you up on everything that we've been doing since you're new, and you don't know much about this case, Amina said, opening her folder. She took out a piece of paper and handed it to Tyrone. You can start by reading over that, and if you have any questions, I'm here to answer that, Amina said. I got you, Tyrone replied. Next, Tyrone read over the documents that Amina gave him, and she discussed them with him. So this Carol lady, what is it that you all got on her? I mean, why is she so concerned about this case? Tyrone inquired. Adara used to work as an independent contractor for Miss Curl until she found out she was running this organization. She wanted Adara to convince Miss Jones to drop the charges and take the hush money, but she wouldn't, so she fired her, Amina informed her. That's it. That still doesn't tell me why she is so worried about the case. What do y'all have on her? Tyrone asked. We know that she has a lot of illegal operations going on, and she's corrupted, like a lot of them. She and Chief John are close, Amina revealed. Close like how? Tyrone asked. Their families are close. They do many activities together, Amina said. Oh, I see. And what illegal activities are she involved in? Tyrone asked. I'm not sure. We're still trying to figure that part out, Amina said. Got you. Well, I'm here to help. I want them to go down for what they did too, Tyrone said. I know, and I'm glad you're a part of the team. It feels good to work with people who share the same passion, Amina said, getting up from the table. Tyrone waited for Amina to leave the room before he called Chief John. Tell me you got something good, Chief John said. Look, I don't get loans to talk. All I know is that they got information that Curl is involved in some illegal things. They also know you and she is close, Tyrone informed him. What do you mean close? Chief John asked nervously. Like y'all families eat dinner together and hang out, Tyrone said. Of course there's no crime in that, Chief John said. What did you think I was talking about? Tyrone asked. Nothing. That's not important. What do they have on Curl? Chief John asked. I'm not sure. They said they're still digging around. Tyrone said, well, look, I need you to figure out exactly what they have on her and get back to me, Chief John said, hanging up the phone. Something's not right about that, but it's not my business, Tyrone muttered, getting up from the table. The end of chapter 18.